Good afternoon, stockholders and guests. We would like to welcome you all to the 2024 Annual Stockholders Meeting of Union Bank of the Philippines, conducted virtually via live webcast. This ASM live webcast is being recorded. We will now commence the meeting with the national anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, pero sa sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyang ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong bagaw, ay hinatang tula, kawin sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang lang matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di matitigil. Luman ang araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya ng pagkay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
It is my pleasure to introduce the members of the Board of Directors who are present at today's meeting. Chairman Ramon I. Aboitiz. Vice Chairman Dr. Justo A. Ortiz. Mr. Sabin M. Aboitiz. Ms. Ana Maria A. Delgado. Mr. Samel A. Aboitiz. Mr. Jose Emmanuel U. Hilado. Ms. Nina D. Aguas. Mr. Robert Joseph M. Declaro. Mr. Roberto G. Manabat. Mr. Manuel D. Escueta. Mr. Josiah L. Go. Attorney Francisco Ed Lim. Mr. Honorio G. Poblador IV. And President and Chief Executive Officer Edwin R. Bautista. Also joining the 2024 ASM virtually are the Management Committee and key officers of Union Bank. The representatives from the bank's external auditor, CICIP Gores Velayo and Company, are also present in this live webcast. Vice Chairman Justo A. Ortiz will now preside over this meeting.
Dear stockholders and guests, good afternoon. And I welcome you all to this 2024 Annual Stockholders Meeting of Union Bank. On behalf of the board, I'd like to thank our valued stockholders who are participating today at this meeting via live streaming, our stockholders who have voted in absentia to the bank's online voting portal, and those who submitted their proxy forms appointing the chairman as proxy. The meeting is now called to order. May I know from the corporate secretary if we have complied with the notice requirement for this annual meeting?
Yes, we have, Mr. Vice Chairman. In accordance with the bank's bylaws and the revised Corporation Code of the Philippines, I have caused to be duly served the notice of this meeting containing the quick response code of the definitive information statement to all stockholders of Union Bank as of the record date March 8, 2024, by email for those stockholders who have given their email addresses. Furthermore, the electronic copies of the notice and definitive information statement, as well as the requirements and procedures for registration to participate through remote communication and vote electronically in absentia, were posted on the bank's website and disclosed to the Philippine Stock Exchange Inc.'s EDGE portal and the Philippine Dealing and Exchange Corporation on March 15, 2024. Pursuant to the SEC notice posted on February 23, 2024, referring to the alternative distribution of the notice of stockholders meeting, information statement, and other documents in connection with the holding of this annual meeting, the notice of meeting was published in the business sections of the Philippine Daily Inquirer and the Philippine Star, in print and online format on March 20 and 21, 2024. The last publication was made 36 days prior to this meeting, in accordance with Article 4, Section 1C of Union Bank's bylaws and Section 49 of the Revised Corporation Code.
Mr. Corporate Secretary, please state the rules of conduct and procedures for this annual meeting.
Mr. Vice Chairman, our stockholders have been notified of the rules of conduct and procedures of this meeting as enumerated in the explanation of agenda items attached to the notice of meeting, which forms part of the definitive information statement. The details of the requirements and procedures for registration to participate through remote communication and vote electronically in absentia are set out in Annex B of the information statement, and the voting procedures on the agenda items for approval at today's meeting are provided under item 19. The bank has engaged SyCip Gorres Velayo and Company to conduct a third-party validation of the votes for this annual meeting.
The stockholders of record having been duly notified of this meeting, may I know from the Corporate Secretary whether we have a quorum?
Based on the record of attendance at today's meeting, there are represented in this meeting by proxy, by voting in absentia, through the bank's online voting portal, and by participation through remote communication or live stream, 2,590,727,188 shares out of 2,989,259,518 outstanding shares of the bank as of the March 8, 2024 record date. As such, 86.67% of the total subscribed capital stock is present in today's annual stockholders meeting. I therefore certify that there is a quorum in this meeting in compliance with the requirements of the bank's bylaws. Stockholders who participated through remote communication or in absentia are deemed present for the purpose of quorum. The list of directors, officers, and stockholders who are present in this meeting and those who have submitted proxy forms will be reflected in the minutes of the meeting.
There being a quorum, we shall now take up the items in the agenda for this meeting. We will now take up first the approval of the minutes of the annual stockholders meeting held on April 28, 2023, a copy of which is available on Union Bank's website and included with the information statement. Are there any comments on the minutes? If none, may we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Mr. Vice Chairman, my name is Paula Caterina Hoson, a stockholder of Union Bank. I move that the minutes of the annual stockholders meeting held on April 28, 2023 be approved and ratified as recorded.
I second the motion. I am a stockholder, Ronald L. Rocapot.
It has been moved and seconded that the minutes of the annual stockholders meeting held on April 28, 2023 be approved and ratified as recorded. May I ask the Corporate Secretary for the voting results of the approval of the said minutes?
Mr. Vice Chairman, as tabulated and validated by SGV, 2,578,295,622 shares, or 99.73%, were cast in favor of approving the minutes of the annual stockholders meeting held on April 28, 2023.
Are there any objections? There being none, the motion is carried. President and CEO Edwin R. Bautista will present his pre-recorded report on the financial and operating results, which includes the summary of the audited financial statements of the bank as of December 31, 2023, and the actions done by the board, its committees, and the management of the bank for the year 2023.
In 2022, we made a bold statement that we will aim to become the largest and most profitable bank in the retail segment of the banking industry by leveraging on our digital transformation strategy. Today, I am happy to report to our shareholders that we have gained significant traction towards achieving our goal in terms of market reach and top-line revenue growth. The investments we have made towards digital transformation have positioned us as a leader in the digital banking space. However, the true gauge of our success as a digitally transformed bank is best measured in terms of customer experience and shareholder return. Consumers have taken notice of the superior experience delivered across our platforms. Our customers have now grown to approximately 14 million individuals, averaging an annual increase of around 2 million customers per year since 2019. Our Union Bank Online is the most downloaded and highest rated banking app in the Google Play Store. And the growth in our number of users is reflected in our leading NPS or Net Promoter Score compared to our peers. However, on the profitability side, we experienced a temporary decline in 2023. Our net income went down year on year to 9.2 billion pesos, resulting to a single-digit ROE or return on equity. This was actually expected since we still carried the parallel IT systems costs prior to migration of the acquired Citi consumer business. The bank's operating expenses were up 43% to 45 billion on account of the full-year impact of the investments we made on the acquisition of the Citibank consumer business and on Union Bank Digital. These new businesses were only included as part of the banking group during the second half of 2022. Total one-time parallel and integration costs of the acquired Citi consumer business amounted to 5 billion pesos. The bank had to operate two systems during the first 2 years of our acquisition. We had to maintain operations on the Citi platform and systems while completing feature builds and migrating customers to our own Union Bank systems. The good news is that we've completed the integration and complete migration of the Citibank business into Union Bank last March. This means that we will no longer incur the transition service costs that we pay Citibank starting April of this year onwards. The more important thing to note is that in 2023, we witnessed a major shift in our business model. We now boast the fourth largest consumer loan portfolio among all the banks. And this comprises 58% of our total bank loan portfolio. This percentage is almost triple the average in the industry. This strategic shift has enabled us to transition towards a more predictable and higher margin income business model. The growth in our top line is attributed to a 73 basis points expansion in our net interest margin to 5.5%, resulting in a significant 34% increase in net interest income, which has now reached 52 billion pesos. Our non-interest income also saw a substantial increase by 41% to 19 billion, with fee-based income growing 54% to 10 billion pesos. These are coming from the growth in our customer transactions in both the parent bank and our key subsidiaries. We are confident in our ability to continue to scale up our business. Our growing customer base, record high top-line revenues, and path to reduce operating expenses will result to stronger shareholder returns this year and in the next years to come. Now, going to 2024. For this year, we have three priorities. Priority number 1 is to unlock the full potential of the acquired Citibank consumer banking business. In addition to cost savings, the migration will enable the bank to enhance services for Citi customers with features such as real-time digital account opening, free ATM withdrawal anywhere in the world, expanded branch access, and improved offerings. Notably, the Citi consumer business has consistently exceeded our own expectations. In 2023, we onboarded 23,000 new credit card clients monthly, a threefold increase from previous years. This growth has elevated our credit card portfolio to third place among both active card base and gross billings across all the banks in the country. In 2024, the first 3 months of this year showed that we even have a higher acquisition rate of 50,000 new cards monthly. The business now contributes approximately one-third of the bank's revenue, and post-migration, the business can easily double its performance. Priority number 2. Our second priority is to sustain market leadership of Union Digital in the digital banking space. In its first year, Union Digital emerged as the market leader in the digital banking space. It ranked as the most profitable digital bank in the country and registered the highest market share in terms of total loans extended. Union Digital aims to broaden its reach by venturing into new ecosystems. For example, its collaboration with Angkas will bring banking services to about 200,000 motorcycle drivers in Metro Manila. To guarantee the success of these partnerships, Union Digital will integrate traditional banking products into its mobile platform, reaching out to underserved and unbanked Filipinos. Priority number 3, and lastly, is to scale up our retail business. 2024 marks a pivotal year as we set our sights on achieving our goal of becoming a great retail bank. With our large base of retail clients, we are strategically positioned to capitalize on cross-selling opportunities across our wide array of financial products, including credit cards, mortgages, personal loans, and vehicle loans. This approach allows us to reach our established customer base in a more targeted and cost-effective manner, thereby ensuring that we meet their financial needs. Furthermore, our consumer loans have been growing at an impressive 33% based on a 3-year compounded annual growth rate since 2020. And currently, they make up 58% of our total loans. The growth of consumer loans will therefore expand our net interest margin and allow us to continue delivering strong top-line revenues in the coming years. By effectively executing our key focus areas, we will enhance the bank's profitability, leading to a stronger and more profitable Union Bank. But we continue to keep our eyes on the future. We will maintain our lead in the development of financial technology, particularly in the following areas. 1. Artificial intelligence applications in mainstream banking functions. 2. Distributed ledger technology applications. 3. Support the Bangko Central's open finance framework. And 4. Look at how digital currency is developing and catch it before it becomes mainstream in the banking world. And finally, I would like to give my sincerest thanks to the Board of Directors of the bank for their continued guidance all these years. To all Union bankers for the impeccable work, and to our customers, partners, and shareholders for your enduring support and trust in the bank. The future indeed begins with you. Union Bank, our future. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next on the agenda is the approval of the annual report of management on operations of the bank for the year 2023, indicating the bank's visions, plans, and accomplishments, including the actions done by the bank's management as reported by the President and CEO, as well as the audited financial statements as of December 31, 2023, which is part of the information statement and posted on the bank's website. Is there any motion to approve the annual report of management for 2023 and the audited financial statements as of December 31, 2023?
Mr. Vice Chairman, I am Mirna Amahan, your stockholder. I move that the bank's annual report of management on operations for the year 2023 and the audited financial statements as of December 31, 2023 be approved.
I second the motion. My name is Edsel Babas, a UnionBank stockholder.
It has been moved and seconded that the annual report of management on operations for the year 2023 and the audited financial statements as of December 31, 2023 be approved. May I ask the Corporate Secretary for the voting results of the approval by stockholders?
Mr. Vice Chairman, as tabulated and validated by SGV, 2,584,212,738 shares, or 99.96% of the votes cast, are all in favor of approving the annual report of management on operations for the year 2023 and the audited financial statements as of December 31, 2023.
Are there any objections? There being none, the motion is carried. We now proceed to answer questions sent by the stockholders. May I ask our moderator to state the procedures for the open forum and the questions from stockholders, if any?
Mr. Vice Chairman, as provided in the requirements and procedures for registration to participate through remote communication and vote electronically in absentia, which was posted on the bank's website, stockholders may send in advance their questions and/or remarks to the items in the agenda to the Corporate Secretary via email on or before 5 p.m. of April 25, 2024, which will be read and answered during the meeting. The bank will respond to any questions and/or remarks that were not answered during the meeting in writing to the stockholder's email address. We received a question from stockholder Anthony Gilbert Antiquiera, sent via email through the Office of the Corporate Secretary. The bank's Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Manuel R. Lozano, will answer the question. Here is the question. What is Union Bank's economic outlook for 2024 despite the high inflation and uncertain interest rate?
Good afternoon, and thank you for the question. We still remain quite hopeful, but really we have to stay realistic about the economic outlook in 2024. We think GDP will continue to grow from 5.5% to 5.8% in 2024, mainly driven by people spending more and businesses investing again. Jobs in factories and services, money sent home from abroad, and hopefully better tourism should all help this growth. The government is also spending on public infra projects, and there are big investments lined up in that area. Unfortunately, dry weather, El Nino, will hurt farming output, and that may dampen the economic output. Overall, though, we expect things to improve and inflation to settle down within a healthy range by the end of this year.
Thank you for your response, CFO, Sir Dimi Lozano. Any questions relative to the agenda items presented at this live webcast may be submitted to the Office of the Corporate Secretary via email as shown on the screen. The bank's answer will be sent to the stockholders' email addresses. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman.
Next in the agenda is the ratification of actions of the board, its committees, and the actions of the management of the bank for the year ended 2023, as reported by our President and CEO, as well as those prior to the date of the annual meeting. These pertain to all contracts, investments, and resolutions issued, and all other acts and proceedings which were done in the ordinary course of business, and when appropriate, have been subject to disclosures to the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Philippine Stock Exchange, the Philippine Dealing and Exchange Corporation, and the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, together with material related party transactions disclosed in Note 32, pages 145 to 151 of the audited financial statements, which is included in the definitive information statement in accordance with the revised corporation code and enumerated under item 5 of the information statement. The table on the screen shows the summary of material RPTs in 2023. These transactions were conducted fairly, comply with applicable laws and regulations, and were done at arm's length basis.
Mr. Vice Chairman, I am Maria Rowena S. Vasconcillo, a stockholder of Union Bank. I move to ratify and approve the actions and decisions made by the board, its committees, and the management of the bank for the year ended 2023, as reported by our President and CEO, as well as those prior to the date of annual meeting, together with the material related party transactions disclosed in Note 32, pages 145 to 151 of the audited financial statements and enumerated under item 5 of the information statement and the summary of the material RPTs in 2023.
Mr. Vice Chairman, I second the motion. I am Paula Caterina Hoson, Union Bank stockholder.
It has been moved and seconded that the actions of the board, its committees, and the management of the bank for the year ended 2023, as reported by our President and CEO, as well as those prior to the date of annual meeting, together with the material related party transactions disclosed in Note 32, pages 145 to 151 of the audited financial statements and enumerated under item 5 of the information statement and the summary of the material RPTs in 2023 be ratified and approved. May I ask the Corporate Secretary for the voting results of the approval of this item in the agenda?
Mr. Vice Chairman, as tabulated and validated by SGV, 2,577,212,477 shares, or 99.64%, were cast in favor of approving this item of the agenda.
Are there any objections? There being none, the motion is carried. Next in the agenda is the appointment of the external auditor of the bank for fiscal year 2024.
Mr. Vice Chairman, I am Ronald L. Rocapor, Union Bank stockholder, and I move that the accounting firm of Sisip, Gores, Velayo and Company be appointed as the external auditor of the bank for fiscal year 2024.
I second the motion. My name is Maria Rowena Vasconcillo, your stockholder.
It has been moved and seconded that the accounting firm of Sisip, Gores, Velayo and Company be appointed as the external auditor of the bank. May I ask the Corporate Secretary for the voting results of the approval of this item in the agenda?
Mr. Vice Chairman, as tabulated and validated by SGV, 2,585,295,361 shares, or 100% of the votes cast, were in favor of approving the appointment of the accounting firm Sisip, Gores, Velayo and Company as the external auditor of the bank for the fiscal year 2024.
Are there any objections? There being no objection to the appointment of Sisip, Gores, Velayo and Company as the bank's external auditor for the fiscal year 2024, the motion is carried. We come now to the election of directors for the 2024-2025 term. Election is made in accordance with our bylaws, where the directors of the bank have a term of 1 year subject to re-election. 15 seats in the board are available to be filled up. May I know from the Corporate Secretary the list of nominees for election as members of the Board of Directors for the 2024-2025 term?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chairman. The following individuals were nominated as members of the Board of Directors of Union Bank to serve for the 2024 to 2025 term. They were screened and deemed qualified by the Corporate Governance Committee of the bank at its meeting held on February 2, 2024. Their qualifications as directors of the bank are in compliance with the provisions of the Revised Corporation Code, existing BSP regulations, and SEC circulars. The bank did not receive any objection from stockholders when the list of nominees with their qualifications, relevant experience, length of service, training, and their board representation in other corporations, as stated in the bank's definitive information statement, was posted on the bank's website and disclosed to the Philippine Stock Exchange and the Philippine Dealing and Exchange Corporation. Therefore, their nomination and election as directors of the bank will be for a term of 1 year, in accordance with the bank's bylaws and the Revised Corporation Code.
Mr. Vice Chairman, I move that all the nominees or members of the Board of Directors be declared as duly elected directors of Union Bank to serve for 1 year term. I am Edsel S. Babas, stockholder of the bank.
I second the motion. My name is Myrna E. Amahan, your stockholder.
It has been moved and seconded that all nominees for members of the Board of Directors of the bank be declared as duly elected directors of the bank to serve their 1 year terms. Are there any objections? There being none, the motions are carried. The corporate secretary is directed to apply the votes received in favor of the 15 nominees.
Mr. Vice Chairman, all votes cast and received by the Office of the Corporate Secretary and confirmed by the Stock Transfer Unit of the bank have been applied. The results of the votes cast, as validated by SGV, are shown on the screen.
There being enough seats in the board to be filled up by all the 15 nominees, the following individuals are elected as directors of the bank to serve for the ensuing 1 year term, namely Ramon I. Aboitis, Sabine M. Aboitis, Ana Maria A. Delgado, Samel A. Aboitis, Jose Emmanuel U. Hilado, Nina D. Aguas, Rolando L. Macasaet, Robert Joseph M. Declaro, Edwin R. Bautista, and yours truly, Justo A. Ortiz. And independent directors, namely Robert G. Manabat, Manuel D. Escueta, Josiah L. Go, Attorney Francis Ed Lim, Honorio G. Poblator IV. Congratulations to all our newly elected directors. The business of this meeting has been concluded. May we have a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Vice Chairman, I am Ronald L. Rocapor, your stockholder, and I move that the meeting be adjourned.
I second the motion. I'm Maria Rowena Basconcillo, your stockholder.
It has been moved and seconded that the meeting be adjourned. Are there any objections? There being none, the motion is carried and the meeting is adjourned.
That ends the 2024 Annual Meeting of Stockholders of Union Bank. Thank you all for your attendance and participation at today's meeting. In keeping with our post-meeting tradition, all stockholders and guests who have attended today's 2024 ASM live webcast will receive their refreshments, which will be sent via email with the voucher codes that you can redeem. It is our simple way of expressing our gratitude and appreciation for your continued interest and support for Union Bank. Thank you all and have a nice day.